Hi, we are Team B3 and the team members are
Leonardo Ayala, Humberto Garza,
Daniela Soto.
Mauricio Morales, Gerardo Valdez, Luis Fernando.
Absolutism in France, England, Italy, and Spain. Absolutism is a type of national monarchy in which the monarch has a great power and tends to be looked up to with awe and reverence. In spite of the name, the power of the monarch is limited by the need to have some measure of support by the landed aristocracy. Some of the principal causes of absolutism in Europe was the disorder, anarchy, confusion, expansion in trade, commerce, industry, the consequent rise of towns and cities, and as a result of their crusades, the rulers and nobles of Europe came in contact with the East, where was a common form of government. Renaissance and Reformation also greatly contributed.
In the particular case of England, King Henry VIII of England was an absolutist king. After he met the Boleyn sisters, he wanted to divorce from Catherine of Aragon. He asked the Pope to have his marriage annulled, and as the Pope denied, he took actions and split the church into an Anglican Catholic Church and Christian Catholic Church.
After the death of Cardinal Mazarin, Louis XIV of France started his rule. As king, he concentrated his personal, legislative, executive, and judicial powers. He also continued his predecessor's attempt of creating a centralized state governing from the capital. He sought to eliminate the remnants of feudalism persisting in parts of France, and compelled many aristocrats to inhabit his palace of Versailles. Thus, he succeeded to create a system of absolute monarchical rule that endured until the French Revolution.
Absolutism within France was a political system associated with kings such as Louis XIII and Louis XIV. The standing army was a symbol of an absolute monarch's authority, and a ruler's powers was based and enforced by it. For those on the receiving end of absolutism, the army played a key role.
The disorder, anarchy, and confusion which prevailed in Europe during the medieval period greatly contributed to the growth of the absolute monarchies. People were fed up with uncertain conditions which caused them untold misery and were willing to be ruled by an absolute ruler who could assure them peace and order. The fall of the absolutism was because people disagreed in a lot of decisions, and there was no democracy, so they had trouble and they just fell.
All absolutism leaders that we mentioned had their different ways of thinking, so they all did what they thought it was better for them. They first looked for them, then for the people. This was a hard time for all European countries. We learned that all monarchs abused from the power they had, and people didn't like it. The end of absolutism was that of different reasons in those countries. In United Kingdom, they did a parliament which had more power than the king, and in France, it was mainly because of the French Revolution, which started because of the high taxes imposed by the king Louis XIV. This shows that people, when they are united, are stronger.